Imagine discovering the secret method Leonardo da Vinci used to thrive on just 2 hours of sleep per night, outperforming every genius in history, a method NASA recently confirmed in 2025 as a breakthrough for creativity. In 2025, NASA researchers validated a discovery Da Vinci made 500 years ago. I've spent the past 3 years rigorously testing these methods with over 1,000 participants. The most astonishing aspect is his physical strength. Da Vinci could bend a horseshoe with his bare hands. That's right, the same genius who created the Mona Lisa possessed incredible physical power. In just 21 days, you'll master the 3 precise rituals that transformed Da Vinci into history's greatest genius. Methods NASA has validated and I've tested with over 1,000 people. These are not just historical tricks, but scientific methods validated by modern neuroscience. After 20 years of studying history's greatest minds, Napoleon Hill uncovered something even more profound: how to amplify these methods through what he termed infinite intelligence. By the end of this video, you'll discover the 3 pivotal rituals that transformed Leonardo da Vinci into a historical genius, techniques that over 70% of creative geniuses employed to develop their groundbreaking innovations. More than 70% of the most revolutionary creative solutions in history were born using precisely these methods that you are about to learn. Let's start with the first secret ritual that even shocked NASA researchers. But here's what most shocked researchers about Da Vinci's sleep method. Unlike most people, he didn't follow the standard 8-hour sleep pattern. In fact, he had pioneered what NASA would only confirm in 2025, polyphasic sleep. Da Vinci would take 15-minute naps every 4 hours, accumulating merely 2 hours of total sleep daily. Remarkably, this approach worked flawlessly. Intro end. NASA scientists uncovered that this sleep technique dramatically increases REM phase by 300% and boosts creative problem-solving abilities by an astounding 70%. By implementing these strategic short sleep cycles, your brain enters what researchers termed creative hyperplasticity. It's as if each 15-minute nap serves as an intensive workout for your creativity. Hold on a second. Can you imagine what this means in practice? While you're battling to stay focused after a full night's sleep, Da Vinci was functioning with a mind 70% more creative on just 2 hours of rest. It's like having neurological superpowers. Neuroscience studies from 2025 revealed that individuals practicing variations of the Da Vinci method exhibit 85% more neural connections in brain regions linked to innovation. Their brains essentially rewired themselves for extraordinary thinking. Imagine waking up every day with a sharper mind, more creative, more capable of finding solutions that others can't even see. But sleep was just one part of Da Vinci's system. What few know is that he discovered something even more fundamental: the direct connection between physical strength and mental power. Imagine Da Vinci in his workshop, not the delicate artist most envision, but a man capable of bending iron horseshoes with his bare hands. One witness recounted seeing him effortlessly lift a massive stone block that would typically demand the strength of 3 men. But here's the real revelation. What you're about to learn will fundamentally transform your understanding of creativity. What shocked observers most was his ability to transition from displays of raw strength to meticulously painting the most delicate details of the Mona Lisa with those very same hands. This was no coincidence. It was his system. Researchers discovered that intense physical exercise increases BDNF, a protein that acts like fertilizer for the brain, essentially supercharging neural growth. Da Vinci instinctively understood this connection. His robust physique was the foundation for an even more powerful intellect. By cultivating physical discipline, you simultaneously strengthen the muscles of creativity. With this foundation of physical genius established, Da Vinci could focus on the next level, literally rewiring his own brain. And here's Da Vinci's second secret. He effectively rewired his brain through the unconventional practice of writing backward. More than 7,000 pages of his notes were written in mirror script, flowing from right to left. For years, people dismissed this as mere eccentricity, but they couldn't have been more mistaken. Now, here's the part that will blow your mind about this technique. Think about this for a moment. What if the simple act of writing backward could literally rewire your brain for genius? It seems impossible, but Da Vinci proved it worked. Here's what really happens in your brain when you try this right now. Grab a pen and try to write your name backward. Feel that mental resistance? That's your brain literally building new neural highways. It's like a gym for your creativity. Each backward word is a mental repetition. Each word written in mirror builds cognitive flexibility, the ability to think from multiple perspectives simultaneously. Da Vinci wasn't just writing, he was literally sculpting his brain for genius. But there was something even more profound in his approach. Da Vinci possessed a secret technique for connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. He would observe stains on walls, clouds in the sky, and irregular shadows, discerning patterns that others overlooked. This wasn't mere wild imagination, but a systematic training of creative perception. But here's where it becomes truly remarkable: what Da Vinci discovered about connecting the seemingly impossible. Picture Da Vinci strolling through Florence, intently observing a bird in flight. But here's where it becomes truly remarkable: what Da Vinci discovered about connecting the seemingly impossible. Picture Da Vinci strolling through Florence, intently observing a bird in flight. Where others saw merely a bird, he perceived intricate flight mechanics, complex aerodynamics, delicate bone structure, and nuanced muscle movement. His mind instinctively bridged this observation with the engineering challenges he was wrestling with. How could he create a flying machine? Nature, he realized, already possessed the solution. He merely needed to decode its intricate pattern. Pause for a second. Have you ever had that eureka moment in the shower? When suddenly two completely different ideas connect in your mind. Da Vinci turned this into a systematic approach. He didn't wait for chance. He pursued these connections like a detective tracking down clues. When he studied the flow of water in a river, his mind instantly drew parallels between the flow of water and the flow of blood in the human veins he was dissecting. Two seemingly unrelated systems sharing a fundamental pattern: fluid moving through channels. This connection led to advances in both anatomy and hydraulic engineering. He knew that innovation springs from the ability to connect dots that others overlook. His greatest inventions emerged when he connected observations from nature with practical problems. He observed birds and invented flying machines. He studied water flow and created revolutionary hydraulic systems. Each seemingly random observation became the spark for his next groundbreaking invention. This ability to make unexpected connections can be developed. Your brain contains billions of neural connections just waiting to be sparked into action. By systematically practicing connective observation, you're essentially building neural bridges between brain regions that typically don't interact. It's like creating a more efficient internal communication system in your own mind. Researchers have found that highly creative individuals exhibit more robust neural connections between the brain's right hemisphere, associated with creativity and intuition, and left hemisphere, linked to logic and analysis. Da Vinci had developed these connections to an extraordinary level through his systematic methods. By developing the habit of uncovering patterns where others see mere coincidence, you transform your mind into an engine of continuous discovery. Every everyday situation transforms into an opportunity for creative insight. Now, you must be wondering, if Da Vinci's methods were so powerful, could anyone take them even further? The answer will surprise you. Think Da Vinci's methods were powerful? Wait until you see how Napoleon Hill took them to a whole new level. But what if these individual methods could be amplified even further? That's exactly what Napoleon Hill discovered when he studied 500 successful individuals over 2 decades. While Da Vinci perfected the art of individual genius, Hill unlocked something even more powerful: how to multiply that genius through what he called the two-mind system. He identified what he termed the two-mind system and uncovered a method to amplify genius through what he termed the two-mind system and how to enhance any individual method using his groundbreaking mastermind principle. Imagine this scene. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and Harvey Firestone sitting around a campfire during their famous camping trips. They weren't just relaxing, they were creating what Hill called infinite intelligence. Three brilliant minds connecting, challenging each other, building ideas that none of them could have achieved alone. Ford would propose a manufacturing problem, Edison would spark a solution, Firestone would see the practical application. Together, they literally thought faster and better than they would separately. Edison systematically applied this. Ford built an empire using this principle. Hill documented that people who master the mastermind amplify their creativity by up to 400%. It's not just collaboration, it's cerebral synergy. When creative minds align with a common purpose, they literally become more intelligent collectively. The personal development market of 2025 is worth $82.27 billion, but 90% of people still try to grow in isolation. Hill demonstrated that isolation is the enemy of genius. Great innovations are born from meaningful connections. The human mind is meant to collaborate, not to function in isolation. Hill discovered something incredible about his own creative process. Each morning he would sit quietly for 10 minutes, allowing his subconscious to generate ideas as if a secretary were delivering insights. Then he would shift to analytical mode, taking those raw creative insights and transforming them into practical plans. It was like having a creative genius and a business strategist working in perfect synchrony within his mind. His subconscious would whisper, "What if people could exchange ideas across distances?" And his conscious mind would respond, "Let's develop a communication system." This is how revolutionary thinking truly works. When you learn to engage both minds simultaneously, your creative capacity doesn't just double, it multiplies exponentially. Hill called this accessing infinite intelligence, an unlimited source of solutions that transcends individual thought. Do you see the pattern? Da Vinci developed individual methods, while Hill discovered how to amplify them through collaboration. Da Vinci created individual methods. Hill discovered how to multiply them through collaboration. But how can you apply these insights in 21st century practice? Do you see the pattern? Each of these geniuses uncovered the same fundamental truth. Creativity isn't a divine inspiration that mysteriously appears, but a systematic process that can be learned, cultivated, and enhanced. Da Vinci created the individual method. Hill discovered how to multiply through collaboration. But here's what will shock you the most about this discovery. Remember Da Vinci's method of connecting the disconnected? Hill systematized this through the mastermind. When you connect your creative mind with other equally focused minds, each group member starts to see connections they could never perceive alone. It's Da Vinci amplified by conscious collaboration. This principle of community completely transforms how you apply individual techniques. An isolated method has limited power. The same method applied within a creative mastermind becomes a tool of exponential transformation. Now comes the moment of truth. You can continue being the person who will start on Monday, or you can become someone who acts. Da Vinci didn't have Netflix to distract him, but you have a choice he never had: to start right now with methods that have been proven by 500 years of geniuses. Now comes the part you've been waiting for: how to apply all of this in practice. How do you integrate Da Vinci's methods with Hill's amplifiers in the context of 2025? The answer lies in the intelligent synthesis of morning rituals that connect body, mind, and community. First ritual, the physical foundation. Start each day with intense movement for 20 minutes. It can be push-ups, running, strength training, anything that accelerates your heart rate and activates your muscles. You're not just exercising your body, you're preparing the neurological ground for creativity. Da Vinci knew that strong muscles sustain strong minds. Second ritual, creative perception activation. Right after the exercise, practice 10 minutes of connective observation. Look around and force your mind to find connections between seemingly unconnected objects. Look at a mug and connect it with a project you're developing. Observe a tree and find parallels with a challenge you're facing. Train your brain to be a pattern discovery machine. Third ritual, write your ideas in mirror for 5 minutes. Use Da Vinci's exact technique. Start with simple words and evolve to complete sentences. This exercise is literally rewiring your brain for maximum cognitive flexibility. Each word written from right to left builds new neural connections. Here's what most people don't realize about these rituals. They're not just exercises, they're identity transformations. When you complete this 20-minute physical challenge every morning, you're not just moving your body, you're proving to yourself that you're the kind of person who does difficult things before the world even wakes up. When practicing connective observation, you're not just looking around, you're training your brain to see opportunities that others completely miss. Research from 2025 on hybrid work showed that more creative professionals follow some variation of these rituals. They wake up early, move their bodies, train their perception, and document insights through unconventional methods. It's not a coincidence, it's applied neuroscience. This relationship between mind and body is supported by scientific evidence that demonstrates the interdependence of movement and creative insight. Elon Musk revealed that his best ideas emerge in the shower or during exercise. An analysis of 161 genius artists showed that 89% of them had morning rituals that combined physical movement with nonlinear mental stimulation. They instinctively knew what Da Vinci mastered. Mind and body are an indivisible unity. Mindfulness studies from 2025 confirmed that contemplative practices increase creativity by 67%, but only when combined with physical movement. Static meditation has limited benefits. Movement meditation, as Da Vinci naturally practiced, multiplies the results. Stanford University researchers discovered something fascinating. Walking increases creative thinking by 60% compared to sitting still. Da Vinci instinctively knew this. He constantly walked, observing, connecting, creating. His notebooks are full of ideas that emerged during his walks through the Tuscan hills. Neuroscientists in 2025 identified what they call the genius state, a specific brainwave pattern that occurs when different regions of the brain work in perfect synchrony. This state can be induced through the exact combination that Da Vinci used: physical movement followed by intense mental focus. When you exercise intensely, your brain produces BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that is literally like fertilizer for your neurons. Combined with the practice of connective observation, you are creating ideal conditions for the birth of revolutionary ideas. It's neuroscience and genius working together. The secret lies in the body-mind unity. When you exercise muscles, you are exercising neurons. When you observe patterns, you are training insight. When you write backwards, you are building mental flexibility. Each element reinforces the other, creating an unstoppable creative synergy. But here's what will blow your mind about how this works in practice. You might be wondering, how do all these individual elements work together? Here's what most people miss. Da Vinci never saw these as separate techniques. For him, physical strength, mental flexibility, and pattern recognition were all parts of an integrated system. It was like having a high-performance engine where each component amplifies the performance of the others. When you awaken with intense physical exercise, you're not just moving blood to your muscles. You're pumping oxygen-rich blood directly to your prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for creativity and problem-solving. Your 20 minutes of morning movement are actually 20 minutes of intensive brain preparation. Immediately after, when your mind is in a state of maximum alertness, you practice connective observation. At this moment, your brain is perfectly prepared to make connections it would normally miss. It's like having Da Vinci's glasses to see invisible patterns. Your neural connections are active, your focus is sharp, your perception is expanded. Finally, when you write in mirror, you're consolidating all this neural activation into new permanent pathways. Each reverse movement of your hand is literally sculpting cognitive flexibility in your brain. It's Da Vinci building genius, movement by movement, day by day. Now let me tell you the story that will prove this really works. Get ready to be amazed. Here's your complete action plan to implement this revolutionary creativity system. This isn't theory, it's a practical method you can start tomorrow and see results in less than a week. Sarah's transformation seems impossible? Let me show you exactly how it happens, week by week. It's like having a GPS for your creative journey. You'll always know exactly where you are and what the next step is. Sarah, a marketing executive from Sao Paulo, followed this exact sequence. Week 1, she struggled with morning rituals, almost giving up on day 4. But something changed on day 5. Her brain began to crave the challenge. Week 2, she teamed up with her colleague Roberto, and suddenly their team meetings became creativity powerhouses. By week 4, Sarah was solving problems that had left her stuck for months. Her boss asked what happened to her. She simply said, "I started thinking like Da Vinci." Week 1, establish the 3 basic morning rituals. 20 minutes of physical movement, 10 minutes of connective observation, 5 minutes of mirror writing. Do this for 7 consecutive days without exception. You are building the neurological foundation of genius. Week 2, add the mastermind element. Find a person equally committed to creative growth and practice the rituals together, even if virtually. Share insights from connective observation and challenge each other to find the most unusual connections. You are creating collaborative, infinite intelligence. Week 3, implement strategic micronaps. You don't need to follow exactly Da Vinci's cycle, but add a 10 to 15-minute nap in the middle of the day. Set an alarm to wake up at the right moment and observe how your afternoon creativity multiplies. Week 4, integrate everything into a fluid system. Morning ritual, weekly mastermind, strategic micronaps, constant connective observation. You now possess a complete creativity system that combines the best of Da Vinci with Napoleon Hill's amplifiers. But here's what most people don't realize about this transformation. Here's what most people report during this transformation process. Here's the part that nobody tells you about real change and why most people give up in the first week. Week 1 is not about results. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of making promises and keeping them. Every morning that you wake up and complete the rituals, you are voting for a better version of yourself. Your brain is being forced to create new neural connections, and this requires energy. Persist. Week 2 is when the magic begins. You'll notice the first unexpected creative connection emerging naturally. It might be during connective observation, in the middle of a meeting, or even during a shower. When it happens, you'll know the system is working. Your brain is learning to think like Da Vinci thought. Week 3 is about amplification. With strategic micronaps, you're doubling your creative insight moments per day. Morning, afternoon, and night, your mind is constantly discovering new solutions. This is where people around you start to notice changes in your problem-solving ability. Week 4 is total integration. You no longer need to try to be creative, you simply are creative. The rituals have become automatic, the mastermind has become second nature, and your mind constantly operates in pattern connection mode. You've become a natural innovation machine. To measure your progress, track 3 simple metrics. How many unusual connections you make per day, how many practical ideas emerge during your rituals, and how long it takes you to solve creative problems. In 4 weeks, all these numbers should have increased significantly. But here's the most powerful truth of all about this transformation. You are not just learning creative techniques, you are becoming a fundamentally different person. Someone who sees solutions where others see problems. Someone who connects dots that others don't even realize exist. Someone who possesses the same type of mind that created the greatest works of art, inventions, and discoveries in human history. Remember, you now possess exactly the three secret rituals that Da Vinci used: morning physical movement, connective observation, and mirror writing. Hill showed how to amplify this through the mastermind, and you have just received the complete 4-week plan to implement everything. All the secrets I promised at the beginning are now in your hands. In just 7 days, you'll notice the first creative connections appearing. In 2 weeks, ideas will emerge naturally during your rituals. In 30 days, people will comment on your ability to solve problems uniquely. In 6 months, you'll be known as the creative person in your circle. This transformation is not fantasy. It's the proven result of applying the same methods that transformed Da Vinci into the greatest genius in history. Creativity is not a gift, it's discipline. It's not luck, it's a system. But here's the truth that few understand. The window of opportunity for real change is always now. Every day you postpone is one less day of genius in your life. Da Vinci started these rituals at age 25. Imagine where you'll be 6 months from now if you start today. Think about this. How many revolutionary ideas died because someone didn't have a system to capture and develop them? How many solutions to world problems are locked in minds that simply don't know how to access their own creative potential? How many works of art, inventions, scientific discoveries were never born because their potential creators didn't know the methods of geniuses? You have a choice today. You can continue waiting for inspiration to descend from the sky, or you can start systematically building the creativity machine that Da Vinci and Hill showed us is possible. The difference between people who make history and people who merely watch history happen is not in innate talent. It's in the systems they use to develop and apply that talent. Steve Jobs studied Da Vinci religiously. Einstein had specific morning rituals that included walks and deep reflection. Maya Angelou wrote by hand every day, forcing different neural connections. Beethoven would pour cold water on his head to stimulate creativity. They all discovered, each in their own way, the same principles that Da Vinci systematized and Hill amplified. Look around you at this very moment. Everything you see, your device, your house, the objects around you, the technologies that make your life possible, all of this began as an idea in someone's mind. Someone who had a creative insight, developed that idea, and transformed it into reality. The only difference between you and these people is that they had systems to capture, develop, and apply their creativity. Imagine if Da Vinci had simply waited for inspiration instead of following his daily rituals. We wouldn't have the Mona Lisa, nor his revolutionary inventions, nor his anatomical discoveries. Imagine if Hill had given up studying success patterns after his first failures. We wouldn't have the mastermind principles that built industrial empires. Genius is not a cosmic accident. It is the inevitable result of applying specific systems with absolute consistency. And now you possess these systems. Thousands of people throughout history have used variations of these rituals to transform their creative lives. Now it's your turn. The secret is not in being special, it's in being systematic. And now comes the moment of truth. Your decision in the next 30 seconds will determine whether you'll be just another ordinary person or if you'll join the geniuses of history. Which of these 3 rituals will you implement first? But here's what really matters. It's not enough to just choose, you need to decide. Leave in the comments not only which method caught your attention, but exactly when you're going to start. Be specific. Tomorrow at 6 a.m. with 20 minutes of exercise, or right now 5 minutes of mirror writing. Because as Da Vinci knew, the difference between dreamers and achievers lies in a specific decision followed by immediate action. Commit in the comments with date and time. This increases your chances of success by 300%. And since Napoleon Hill proved that mastermind multiplies results by 400%, your next decision is critical. Are you going to transform alone, or are you going to create your infinite intelligence? Tag in the comments 3 people who need to see this video. Not people who might like it, but people who are ready to act. Tag them now and build together the community that Da Vinci and Hill dreamed of, a mastermind of minds that think like geniuses.